I knew, okay, this is for me. Again, I knew very little about firefighting. I never really looked into it until I spoke with my platoon mate. And then, yeah, the course in the States was amazing. And then I love learning stuff that I like, right? Which most people do. If you stick me in a
Right.
classroom in a university, I'm out. You stick me in a classroom with something that interests me, I'm all in. So I ended
Right.
up I loved the Air Force fire thing. I ended up being posted to Bagotville, Quebec, again, which was a weird thing because I wanted to go as far away as I could from Windsor, just get away from Windsor.
Most people do. I was born in
Right,
Windsor. I totally understand.
right. And then they came in asking for volunteers for Bagotville. Again, a place I never heard of. I knew it was French. I didn't speak a lick of French. A buddy of mine put his hand up and said, "You know what? I'll go and I'll learn French." And I said, "Wow, that's a ballsy move, brother." So I said,
Yeah.
"You know what? I'll do it too." So him and I, two English boys from Ontario, ended up getting punted out to Saguenay, Quebec.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Right. It was awesome though. Again, we hit the ground running hard because we had to go right into a French course. So we got to our fire
Right.
hall, we met our people, and then within I think it was the first 4 or 5 days, we were in a full-time French course, Monday to
That's
Friday.
the year-long French course, isn't it? Like those.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow,
Yep.
that's intensive.
I can't remember if I did a full year because I want to say it was about a 6-monther, but we ended up, again, when I want something, I want it hard, and no matter what it takes, I'm going to learn it.
Good.
And I did very well on my French course. Luckily, I met a French girl, so my French is pretty good. But it was just something for me. It was a challenge that okay, now I have to speak French and do a job.
Yeah.
So to me, that was exciting. So yeah, I really enjoyed my time in Bagotville. I learned a lot, made some really, really great friends, and it led me to where I am today.
Excellent. So, and how did Corporal for Life come about?
I'll tell you, it involved some drinking, if I'm being honest. A good friend of mine, a guy that was actually in Afghanistan with me in my platoon, he's from Brockville. He came down for a weekend. It was about 3 a.m. We were sitting in my garage right back here, having maybe a few too many pops, and we just got talking about our time in and the pride in and all that, and the lack of, I guess, clothing or things to show that you're a service member, short of wearing like the veteran. There's nothing wrong with that.
We all have our course T-shirts that.
Right. and we that night nothing came out about T-shirts. It was just talking about the pride and all that stuff. And then it was the next morning, and it sounds like nonsense, but it was like a lightning rod hit me, and it was like T-shirts. There are no T-shirts out there that I would wear. Why is that? Yeah. And that's it was the next day or the day after I was sitting at work, and I just started scribbling ideas, and I was like, what am I gonna, how can I make a T-shirt? What would people wear? What would I wear? That's pretty much how it started. What is something that I would wear? And I just started throwing ideas on paper, came up with a name, drew a logo, and then that's pretty much the history of it, man.
Excellent. And I know it's taken off quite a bit, the Corporal for Life. I see your social media is very active with it, and even from my travels from base to base, you usually bump into somebody with a Corporal for Life T-shirt, on at the bar,
right?
Or at the gym and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. It makes me warm and fuzzy inside, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you see it everywhere, and that's fantastic to see. And you even have, I don't want to say the gang hand signs, but I've seen a lot of the social medias with the corporal chevrons going on, but
right.
So where can someone find your stuff if they haven't been exposed to it yet?
The shameless plug, I love it.
Yeah, throw it in.
Corporalforlife.com or c4l.ca are the websites, and then we're, like you said, we are very active on social media. I try to pump out a few posts per day,
right?
Just to keep it fresh in the mind. It's not always, it's not always easy to run a business and keep people's attention. And,
yep.
You got other brands out there doing the same thing. So you got to kind of try to stay relevant. And I think I do that okay.
And you always end up having, new designs, and so where do these designs kind of come from?
Right here, man.
Yeah,
And if I think of something that I would wear, my wife is actually, it's funny, she's starting to get into, you should make this, you should make that. So if you see a
excellent.
product like jackets and all that stuff, she was probably behind some of that stuff.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Constantly thinking, man, constantly thinking of something to put out, right?
And where do you think Corporal for Life is going to go? What's the next evolution?
We're into wholesaling now, which again, I've been learning how to pivot pretty well with this company. I've had 3 stores, 3 closures, and I mean that maybe most people that would be a loss, but again, I am learning from these adventures, I guess, and
Right.
I'm getting good information out of it. It's kind of like paying for university, but I'm not going to university. I'm just paying in real life, and
Yeah, sometimes the lessons are a little more expensive than others, but
right.
it's good to see you stay focused, and you're committed to making sure the brand kind of sticks out there. And
I'm just a person that will not give up. I've always had a hard head. And it's just getting harder over time, man. I will not. It's going to be tough to get me to stop doing this.